I spent months collecting every single sailboat saying that I heard. Geez, I need to get a life. Sailors are a superstitious bunch, and it seems like for every situation there's an accompanying saying that goes with it. Some of them are very useful, some are misleading, and some are just plain wrong. Either way, I'm willing to bet you that some of these you have never heard before. So let's go through them, and at the end, I'll throw in a crazy fact that will help you impress all of your friends. We are sailing around the world the hard way. On our abandoned 1980s ketch, refitted on a very tight budget, now has all the luxuries you could ever want. This channel is more about technical advice and sharing knowledge than the journey itself. Sometimes with science, sometimes our mistakes, but always having fun. Let's start with the most common ones and progress to the most crazy ones as we go. Sailing is the most expensive way to travel for free. Well, I can see this being true because everything on a boat is extremely expensive. However, once the boat is done, it's really very cheap to cruise around. There are only two happy days of boat ownership: the day you buy it and the day you sell it. Well, no, I call BS on this one. There are a lot of happy days while you own a boat. And the day you sell it, it might not be happy at all. I know for us, when we sold our old boat, it was very bittersweet, but more bitter than sweet. It was a sad day, actually. Safety second. Okay, this one, it took me a while to understand that I had it backwards. I thought it meant that you just go and you think about safety in the second place, but that's not what it is. You think about everything that could go wrong and you mitigate that so that safety is not an issue. So safety comes second because you already did a lot of work before it comes to that. Boat work expands to the time allotted to it. Now, this one, absolute fact. If you go on the hard and you have 6 months to do a job, it will take you 6 months. If you have 3 months, it will take you 3 months. Tell me what you want to do on your birthday, and I'll tell you how expensive cruising life will be for you. Make sense? Think about it. If you're the type of person that on your birthday, what you want to do is go to a fancy restaurant, then it means that the favorite things that you like to do cost money. So, cruising will be expensive for you. If on the other hand, maybe you're like me and the best thing that you could be doing on your birthday is sailing, just sailing, nothing else, it will be very cheap for you. You don't buy cruising boats by the foot, you buy cruising boats by the pound. Yep, makes sense. The heavier the boat is, the more seaworthy it's gonna be. Well, there are some exceptions, but you get the point. Any fool can sail around the world, but no one wants to do it sober. I don't know about this one. I don't drink aboard, almost ever, and I still want to sail around the world. I think it means because sometimes the weather is so bad and life is so shitty that you'd rather be drunk. But I don't know about this one. A boat is a hole on the sea where you throw all your money in. Yep, that checks out. Nothing to say about that one. Having two is having one, and having one is having none. Well, this is because everything, absolutely everything, breaks on a boat. So if you have two, you are sure that you have one that is working. If you only have one, if that one stops, you have absolutely nothing. If you set up for heavy weather, you will only sail in gales. Oh yeah, that's true as well. If your boat needs 20 knots to do some progress, you will always be sailing in bad weather. On the other hand, if you have a boat like with the big Spinnaker or Code Zero that can take advantage of 5 knots of wind, you will be sailing in amazing conditions. One hand for the ship and one hand for yourself. That tracks. If you're going forward, you only have one hand to do whatever you need to do. The other hand is for the boat. The best kind of boat is the one you can afford now. There are a lot of good boats, but if you can't buy them or use them, well, the best one is the one that you can actually use. A ship in the harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are for. Yeah, that's for all of you marina queens out there. Just go out, have some fun. Sailing is the fine art of slowly going nowhere at great expense. Yeah, sometimes it really feels like that. Hey, but you can go really far, even going slowly. So yeah, I'm not sure this one holds out. The craziest thing about sailing around the world is that while you're getting older, girls stay the same age. Yeah, kind of true. My wife doesn't think this one is funny. The bigger the boat, the bigger the problems. And I will add, the bigger the expenses. Yeah, that tracks. The bigger the boats, the more money and problems you're gonna have. But it's sure nice to have a bigger boat. Any port in a storm. Yeah, that tracks. If you're in really shitty weather, you just want to get to port. It doesn't matter how good the port is. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in the morning, sailor's warning. This one is one of those that it's been told forever, but I've seen red sky in the morning a lot of times and it was absolutely fine. And I've seen red skies at night and the next day it was crappy as hell. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just something that's fun to say. The captain goes down with the ship. Well, no, not anymore. Just use the EPIRB and call for rescue. Be the last one to leave the boat though, but yeah, you don't need to go down with the ship. The goal is not to sail the boat, but rather to help the boat sail itself. Yeah, well, that tracks, especially nowadays that everyone has autopilot. I know it means that you tune the sail so that the boat effortlessly sails itself. The wind and the waves are always on the side of the skilled sailor, especially because the skilled sailor will probably not be out when the wind and the waves are really bad. When we started, 25 knots winds was really scary, and now it's absolutely nothing because we have a little bit more skill and, you just tune the sails and it's nothing. A bad day sailing is better than a good day in the office. Oh, yeah, amen, brother, for sure. I'd rather have a bad day sailing anytime than spend the day at the office. Not that I did many of those. Boats are like whiskey. They're all good. Yeah, makes sense. They're all good. Either whiskey or boats, they're all beautiful. He that will not sail till all dangers are over must never put to sea. You must understand you're taking on risk if you're going out. The sea finds out everything you did wrong. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Every little thing that you messed up, it's coming back to bite you when you're out at sea. The pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change, and the realist adjusts the sails. Yeah, that's exactly what you should do. Just adjust the sails. That one is a good one. You want the ability to carry the whole family, but you don't really want them there. Oops. Don't tell them that. But it might be true. I am much more relaxed when my family's safety is not up, it's not in the equation. When I'm solo sailing, it's much more relaxing that's sailing with the whole family. But I don't think that's what that one means. Any docking you can walk away from is a good docking. I hate docking, especially in marinas. But yeah, if you can walk away from it, you obviously docked. You never fully own a boat. You have a relationship with it. When you buy a boat, it's not just it's not just a boat. It has a personality. There's something to it. And you definitely have a relationship with it. I like this one. When 80% of the boat is done, it's time to go have an adventure. Oh, yes. And this is so important for people that are just starting in this. I met so many people that lost years on the hard that they could have been using sailing because they want the boat absolutely perfect, and it will never be. So once it's 80% done and what's left is basically just cosmetics and it has nothing to do with the safety of the boat, dude, just go and have an adventure. You can always do the rest later. Now let's talk about that cool fact that I told you about in the beginning of the video that you can use to impress all of your friends. And if you're a member of this channel, you're watching this video way before everyone else. So if you have any more of these, let me know. I'll edit the video and I'll put it in and I'll give you a shout out. Here's that cool nautical fact that you can use to impress maybe, I don't know, your mother-in-law. The expression FU in Portuguese is said vai pro caralho. And they don't translate, it's not a direct translation, but it's the same context. When you say in English, FU, in Portuguese, you would say vai pro caralho. Now here's the funny part. It translates directly as go to the dick. Caralho being the word for dick. The fun part about this is that in the early days of sailing, this word was used to describe the lookout basket on top of a tall ship's mast. And it was the worst place to be. And many times, if you did something wrong, you were sentenced to go to the caralho, or vai pro caralho. And what that meant was that they were sending you to a really bad place, because the mast swings around and it's a really bad place to be. The expression vai pro caralho evolved later on to mean go to the dick and to mean basically F you. But if you take it literally, what you're actually saying is go to the worst place on this ship. If you're still watching, you're a frickin' hero. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you on the next one. Cheers, bye!